Titan Talk. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Today I have myself, Captain Coop, and we have Captain Brown with us.
What's up, guys?
Our talent was not able to make it. He had some stuff he has to do with the missus, so he opted out. We originally were going to do some more information on the holiday parties for Christmas, and we were going to have April. She was going to show off some of the prizes and stuff. Unfortunately, due to some other reasons, she was unable to make it as well. So,
So what Coop's saying is I'm choice number 3.
4 technically, but no, I'm just playing. I'm playing. No, Brown was set up as a backup of a backup because we knew that McFarland was going to be able to make it, and we weren't sure if April was going to. Yep. So I got to drag him in with me today. So thank you guys for joining us today. Justin, good to see you. Nathaniel, Mr. Thompson, 4th, fantastic. Mr. Beatty, welcome. He who should not be named, I see you there.
Oh, he's back in the podcast.
And I am not McFarland, so I will not be saying your name. You are back to that. So thanks for joining us, guys. But since we don't have April here, we're going to talk a little bit about bringing somebody else on. So for a little bit now, we've discussed bringing on an officer or another supervisor who isn't based out of the office, so you guys can get a more realistic experience or information from someone who's in the field more consistently at an actual on-site versus being a supervisor who drives around all day and judges people for a living.
Which, I mean, we've had Lieutenant Thompson on, but
Yes.
he's kind of in the drive around and judge everyone for a living boat still.
Now,
But,
more so now than he was before.
Yeah.
But so we've been talking about it for a little bit, and we've kind of been discussing who would be good candidate, who, what properties would be good to draw from, who would really give you guys the best experience with that. So we've kind of made a couple of decisions on that note, and here in the next week or two, we will be pulling somebody in. I'm not going to spoil who it is. You guys will find out.
Availability.
Yeah, depending on availability. It'll be one of 3 candidates. So all 3 candidates will be coming onto the podcast. It'll just depend on availability of who gets to go first. So there's that. Justin says, I'd be honored. Justin, you might be a contender. We never know.
I think we've had Sergeant Neiman on there, haven't we?
Yeah, we had Neiman as well. We did have Neiman. We have he who should not be named says, come on, we both know which officer should be on the podcast.
Not you.
Wasn't me.
We were both thinking
But
it.
I was not.
Yeah.
No proof. So we have, we wanted to kind of brief you guys on that and let you know that that's coming, which is something I've been talking about for months. But we've kind of, with the structure, with everything we've got the ability to do it more so now than we have in the past. So we have the coverage built in if we needed it. So which really helps in that area is getting someone from the field here. That way we can make sure that they're covered. And I will say this, if we have you on for the podcast, we will pay you. Okay? You're not going to lose wages for it. So there is that. I don't want anybody to think that we're going to screw them out of a shift out of it or anything. So there's a positive there. Let's see. Let's say Justin says he wants to duke it out, him and Rush for the opportunity. Best 2 out of 3. You could do rock, paper, scissors. I'd be game for that.
Yeah.
But no violence, guys. No violence. So rock, paper, scissors. You guys can rock, paper, scissors in the chat for that. How's that? There's no ruining it. I get paid to ruin the podcast? You'd do it for free then.
Hold on. Did Price actually say his name or?
Price said his actual name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because he has that name, he is he who should not be named for me forever now.
Yeah.
Killjoy. Fantastic, absolutely. But other than that, guys, there really wasn't much. I had actually completely planned on this being all about the Christmas party. So April not being here due to what she's going on kind of put me in a little bit of a spot. So this was kind of a rushed one for me to come up with something for you guys.
All I know is check your emails.
Yeah, the biggest thing with the holiday party, other than the fact I wanted to get you guys some of the prizes on what they were, so you guys could get a little bit of salivation going for what they could be. I can tell you that there's 2 TVs. We'll be giving out a couple of the bottles with my ugly mug on them for you guys as well. But there's a bunch of other stuff as well and I don't know all the prizes.
There's a gun safe.
I'm trying to stay out of it because I don't like planning for events like that. It just makes me nervous, and I'm so over the top with like making sure everything's on point that I'll drive myself insane. So I know that what little I do know is it's check your emails. It has all the information on it. I don't think it lists the prizes, but it does the dates, the times. I know it's the 3rd and the 7th. I don't remember the times, and I'm not going to say where it's at. We already made that mistake once, but it's listed in the email. But what I will do is I will get a list from them, and then on Monday I'll let you guys know what some of the prizes are, more so than what I know now. So, how about we go for what's going on in the world?
How about we don't?
Yeah,
That seems like a touchy one right now.
Rush. We don't use that name. Call me my full name.
Huh.
Bad Rush. We don't use that name.
There's only one person in this office that uses that name.
Yeah, and I run every time he does.
Yeah.
Same when you say everybody's full name. We're like, nope, we're out. Deuces.
Yep.
Later. Let's see. We all know them. Yeah, he's going to work himself to death. Leon will not retire. I don't think he has the
That's
capability
never
of doing
going to
it.
happen.
I've heard him say he wants to, but I just don't think he can. Like,
His
I don't-
retirement is going to be like when we branch out to Florida, and he's going to go run that branch.
Yeah, I could see him doing that. My dad worked for the same company for 32 years, I think. Yeah, 32 years. Yeah, I had to think about that when I had to go through my dad's pins because he has a pin for every 5 years. And he worked for that company for 32 years. He tried to retire 10 years before he actually did. And his boss pulled him into his office and says, Bill, I want you to know something. I appreciate everything you do. There's 2 ways you're leaving this company, and 2 ways only. My dad goes, what's that? He goes, in a pine box or in a body bag? He goes, you're going to die here, just like me. And my dad goes, looks at him and goes, fair.
Yep.
I was like, Dad, you're not supposed to do that.
No, knowing Leon, it's going to be like the Minnesota branch, just because he's a glutton for punishment.
I think it's more because it's like Minnesota or something like that because he likes to hike and that gives him a better option for it.
But the cold.
I don't think he cares about the cold.
That's
Dude, he
fair.
runs in 10-degree weather.
That's fair. Glutton for punishment.
Yeah, we're talking about a dude who will run as long as there's no ice on the ground. He runs in snow. Snow. I mean, I met some psychotic people in my life, but that dude's dedicated.
Yeah, he's.
Leon's going to be doing a use of force debris. Use of force from behind pearly gates debrief. McFarland's just going to be laying in bed communicating with him.
No, my lord.
Justin says if we branch to Georgia, he wants to go.
Can't
You
do
know-
me both.
I don't know if I could do that.
Ooh, the traffic. That's
I've
what
never,
would-
I've gone through Georgia, but I've never stayed long.
I've gone through Georgia, and if you hit any major city in Georgia during rush hour, you're done.
All mine was back roads.
Yeah, I hit Atlanta during rush hour.
Ooh,
You're done.
I've
for
heard about
hours. I think we were stuck there for about 3 hours in rush hour traffic.
oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think the worst place I've ever been for traffic, Oklahoma. Oklahoma City, I hit that.
Okay.
We were coming up through. That was when I was first moving here, and we hit traffic, like actually moving everything, not just like getting everything set up, but actually moving. And I had everything in the trailer, and we hit traffic. We hit like at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was dead stop. I think we were there for 2.5 or 3 hours, and I was just banging my head on the steering wheel, like, just hurry up.
Yeah, I was gonna say most of Oklahoma is just back roads unless you're OKC. But
Yeah, it caught me.
once you hit that, that's where.
Once we got out of it, it was clear sailing. But I mean, it was just at like the highway right there down in downtown. And
Yeah.
it was horrible. And the way they've got the off ramps and on ramps,
Oh,
it's so
the
weird.
layout of that city is just weird.
Dude, it caught me so off guard because the exits to get on like to one highway to another highway and everything. It's not like on the far right lane. It's in the middle lane or on the far left lane, and you go over traffic. I was like, what is going on here?
The layout of that
I was
city is
so lucky I didn't get lost. Let's see. Atlanta would be sick.
No.
I've never, like I said, I've never been to Atlanta. I think it'd be. I can't wait to see where we do expand to because I know expansion will eventually come down the road.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see that. But let's see. When we branch out to Kansas. Really?
Yes, let's go guard some wheat fields.
Let's see. It would be sketchy but lucrative in Atlanta. I mean, we already have that with St. Louis.
Hey, we got that going in St. Louis, but
we got that. We got that completely.
Atlanta's a fun place to visit. That I don't ever see myself hanging out there for all too long.
Atlanta? I don't know. I've never been. Like I said,
I would say it's similar to St. Louis in many ways.
I still think my favorite story about St. Louis is when we sent somebody up there. They were driving to the rented office we had at the time. We were renting office space to do interviews and stuff. And on the drive, he was on the highway going into St. Louis, and he said a car passed him in the right lane, and the guy had his hand out the window, wrapped in a towel that was supposed to be white, but it was drenched red and dripping.
Yep.
And he just had his hand out the car, and he was driving just like it was normal, just like that. Like that sounds like something like in Albuquerque. Because I've seen that in Albuquerque. Like, that doesn't catch me off guard, but it was just hearing about it in St. Louis, like, really fantastic. Let's see. Gary says, welcome, Gary. Good to see you. Sarah, good to see you as well. Let's see. Gary says Dallas-Fort Worth is pretty bad. Can confirm, just can't drive. Atlanta has a lot more massive corporations and events going on all the time. Lots of potential. Well, that's the thing is there's corporate events going on everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got corporate events here like no tomorrow. Two of our biggest clients, not biggest, but two of our heavy hitting clients, what I should say, have corporate events all the time. You deal with one of them on a daily basis.
Yep.
There's massive events going on there all the time. And then the other one that we deal with, I won't say the name, but is just up the road. They have events all the time there as well, whether it be, I mean, anything.
We deal with big events in Omaha as well.
Yeah, Omaha. We've got a huge center out there that deals nothing but events, and and we use the off-duty PD out there for them.
Yep.
It's just, I mean, this month alone, I think there was 22.
There were a lot of them this month.
It was ridiculous. I was looking at the list, and I was just kind of like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. He who should not be Sam says I worked in St. Louis one time with Tony, and it was the most numbingly boring day of standing around. I think
you weren't in the right part of St. Louis.
you got the good part. We did one. I can't remember where it was, but it was a termination, and I got to do it. It was out of town. I got to stay in a hotel. It was 3 days long, and I've never been to a more boring situation. I had to go through like a little 15 or 20 minute training seminar because of what it was, and then I was sitting there, and all the other workers are like, "Dude, we don't even know why you're here because he's not coming back." Well, I was like, "Well, what about his stuff?" They look at me like, "He doesn't care. They go, this is his part-time job because he got bored down in Texas because he has a cattle ranch." I go, "Yeah, he's not coming back." I go, no, he's worth millions of dollars. He did this because he was bored. Like, he's never coming back here. I was like, what? And so all of his stuff, they go, he's leaving it. Like, wow. I sat there for 3 days banging my head. No cell signal, no nothing. Just sitting there listening to these guys gab back and forth about what they didn't like about their job, what they did like, some stupid things and it was just like this, banging my head on a desk. Bleed me over.
Jeez.
Let's see. Memphis. Sarah says, let's go Memphis. All right. Birthplace of rock and roll. We need Leon.
I like Memphis.
We needed Leon to confirm that. Leon's been to Memphis more than once recently. He says he likes it.
I love Memphis. Such a beautiful city.
Let's see. Dylan, welcome. Kay Bowers, welcome. Let's see. My bad. He changed it. He goes, mind-numbingly. My bad. Let's see. Skynet contract confirmed. I mean, we already technically have that with Mike. Yeah. He runs our monitoring center, and that's basically Skynet. I mean, they talk and everything. Yep. Shaughnessy just hopped in. He says, hey, guys, hit the like button if you want to see Shaughnessy on podcast again. That's not true. Shaughnessy, if you're still here, you are more than welcome to come over and join us.
No, Shaughnessy, I was option number 3. You're not invited.
Technically, you were option 2 because we planned to have April. So you were technically just the backup. You weren't the backup of the backup.
He's still not invited.
Shaughnessy, come on over.
Now he's going to.
That's fine. We got Price saying, bring back Lulu. Let's see. Yeah, I think some of the event, like some of the talking about temp posts, kind of, they range from everything. We do parties, weddings. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that we do. I think the most boring ones, and they're probably the most boring, but at the same time, they have the possibility of being the most
highest risk.
Yeah, are the terminations.
Terminations, and we're sitting on property eviction right now too.
Yeah, and I mean, they're 99% of the time, and it's the same thing I tell everybody. 99% of the time, you're going to be bored out of your mind doing what we do for a living. Law
That's a good
enforcement,
day.
the same. And that 1% that stuff pops off, that's your entertainment. You know, that's what's going to keep you going.
Yep.
And that's the industry, you know. But it's like that at every post we have. I think some have a higher risk of the 1% showing up, but
Yep.
I mean, it's still the 1%. Thompson says hashtag save Shaughnessy. Hold on, let's do this. Shaughnessy, just for you. I'm still waiting to see if he just pokes his head in.
I would be surprised if it doesn't. Are you setting a poll?
I'm going to try. If I don't screw up his name.
Do it.
There.
It pisses him off anytime you do.
I try not to.
I do it intentionally at this point.
That doesn't surprise me.
I live with him. It's fine.
It doesn't. I mean, it just doesn't surprise me that you do it intentionally to antagonize him.
Oh yeah.
Is there any dedicated training a guard could get for dealing with mental health individuals that you all know of? So, almost all the training, I shouldn't say almost, all the training I have with dealing with something like that is going to be in the field, stuff I've learned in person while dealing with it. There's good classes you can take on mental development health classes and stuff like that that really help to explain what some of the disorders are and how they function and things like that. Basically, like background history on how it all works. I highly recommend stuff like that. Reading, getting any kind of information on how how the disorders work, how they affect someone's life while they live, everything that way, because that's really what's going to give you an idea of how to deal with somebody who's got, whatever it could be, and just kind of figuring out what the most common, I guess you could say, in your area is, and then picking that up and then getting any kind of information on that. I don't think there's anything training wise that I know of specifically, but I do know that that's kind of how I learned. I dealt with it a lot while I was in the field, whether I was patrol or a road supervisor. I dealt with it a ton, and so I kind of just picked up on little traits and things to do on how to handle certain situations when people are acting a certain way. But once I realized that I was going to be dealing with it more and more, I started doing research on, what disorder, how does a disorder affect somebody? What's a good strategy to how to talk to them, how to act around them and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of just more along the lines of what I did. It was more personal research than it was anything else.
Yeah, I'd say about the same. I touched a little bit on it in my EMT classes, but other than that, I learned from the field.
Justin's correct. We do have some videos on it now.
Yep.
Somebody hit no, and Shaughnessy wants to know who. I will never tell. Let's see. Brown did not answer the poll. His phone has been down in front of him the entire time.
I might now, though.
Of course, he's going to now. You want me back on the road? Oh, no.
No,
Price,
you don't. We had that conversation today.
Price
no, you
just
don't.
said he wants me doing patrol soup for the day. See, okay, so we actually had that kind of conversation today.
Yep.
What I was like back when I was on the road, I was a much different person. I'm much nicer now. Everybody likes me a whole lot more. I am the rules guy. So if I roll up and you're not following the rules, I hammer down because that's always been my view is we've got to maintain that. So I'm much nicer now that I'm not in the field as much. And I think you guys like me a whole lot more than if I was in the field more.
The original Shaughnessy.
I think I was worse.
Yeah, well, it was easier back then.
Yeah, that's true. You guys also
To be mean.
Something else you got to remember too. When I started, there was considerably less of us than there is now. When I started, there were 64 employees,
And now we're over.
and
500.
now we're over 500. That's terrifying to think of when you say it out loud again. The first time wasn't so bad, but saying it the second time, that's a little disheartening.
Yep.
They let me stay this long.
Well, you started being nice, so
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, so far it's been take what works and leave. Yeah, and so that's the thing is there's going to be something you have to consider you as well is not everything works the same in every situation. Everyone's going to be different. So the knowledge that you learn from one situation is not always going to apply to the next. Now, it's always helpful in making the decisions on the next incident or what's going on or the next person you're dealing with, but it's not, there's no cookie cutter
no.
information that's going to apply from subject 1 to subject 2 to subject 3. It changes from person to person. I mean, how we deal with each other is different as well, whether, we're both a little messed up, so I guess that kind of works the same. But there's no cookie cutter form saying, hey, this is going to work for everybody. And that's with everything.
Yeah, especially with mental health cases, there's too many variables in there.
The best thing you can do is try and gain as much information as you can and knowledge on how those things work, how they function with somebody and things like that to make it to where you have the best chance of success with that and talking to that individual. Coop does a vlog on a day in the life as a patrol supervisor. No. I don't think I could do that.
I don't think any of our patrol supervisors should do that for legal reasons.
Between Brown, let's see. Dylan says between Brown and Shaughnessy, who is more of a clean freak? That's kind of a hard one. They're both kind of the same. I think it kind of depends because
No, I think there's a definite answer.
I don't know. I've seen you both kind of do it the same though.
Yes, but I'm very much like you, where you can tell me where this paperclip is on your desk with 200 papers on it.
Yeah.
He's not that case.
Yeah, I'm kind of more of an organized chaos kind of guy. If you looked at my desk and some of how I organize things, it would kind of trip people out. Funny enough, he's actually the only one so far who knows who's figured out how that part of my brain functions.
We're the two that can find stuff on the desk.
Because while I was out dealing with some personal stuff, Brown actually was looking for something and he was like, "Oh, it's over here," and everybody was kind of like, "How did you know?" And it's like, it's a nerd thing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So long story short, I'd say I'm more clean.
Yeah. I don't know though. I've seen you both kind of go at it at the same kind of veracity though, so it's kind of hard for me to describe. Let's see. Justin says, "Is he as strict as Whitelock?" Me? I think I was worse. I think Whitelock's. I think now it's kind of I've tapered off and passed that all along to the new lieutenants and kind of let them deal with it.
I think if you think Whitelock's strict, you haven't seen anything.
Yeah, that's true. Whitelock's got his strictness, but
Lieutenant Whitelock is very much to the rules, but he is spirit of the law, not letter of the law.
Shaughnessy, I would say Shaughnessy and I are more letter of the law than we are spirit.
No, Lieutenant Whitelock can see some wiggle room in some spots. So if you think Whitelock is strict,
it's funny, Justin. You say rules are all we have sometimes. I can't think of a better way to. It's in John Wick. Without rules, we are. I can't remember. There's that phrase from John Wick, and I wish I could remember what it was, and I'm going to look it up now. But there's a phrase from John Wick that the owner, the manager from the hotel says is without rules, we are with the animals or something like that.
yeah.
And I kind of love that. When I first time I heard it, I was like, that's awesome. And I just thought it was. You okay?
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool when I'd heard it. And it's just one of those things that with rules kind of separate us. It gives us structure. It allows us to continue to do things. Yeah, it's without rules, then we would then live with the animals. And to me that to me it speaks. Yep. With the rules, it allows us to remain professional and appear professional and be professional, and I think it's just the best case scenario. That's why I think I'm more letter of the law than I am spirit of it. Yeah, back in my day.
Who said that?
Who do you think?
Shaughnessy?
No.
Oh, okay.
Do your own research on certain things you might deal with. Yep, that'll help you target help you with target how to deal with certain EDPs. Correct, 100%. No, a 30-minute video of Coop crying in a patrol car. I've never done that. I've banged my head on the steering wheel more
Several
than once.
times.
Yeah, banged my head on my desk in my office.
There would be significantly more yelling than crying in any of those vlogs.
Yeah. I'm more of a yeller than I am anything.
Oh no, any of the patrol supervisors.
That's true.
Yeah,
Justin says Brown is just Coop Jr.
yeah, that's been established.
Yeah, we
Thank you,
figured that
Bryce.
out years ago. Let's see. Never worked patrol. I just seen and heard how. Yeah. We've kind of all just. I think that's just kind of a running thing with patrol. When you get to that point as a supervisor, that just is what happens.
Yeah.
You learn to redirect it.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll see working at hospitals. I mean, you won't just run across that, Bowers. You'll run across that everywhere. We have run across that everywhere. It's not just going to be specifically where you are, but no, I don't want to say it. Look it up.
Okay.
Just look. But we've run across that everywhere. There's not one post in particular.
Yeah.
Let's see. Working in a prison taught me and helped me learn multiple different illnesses and mental incapacities from the people. Yep. Rules can be bent, not broken. That's kind of you can bend a rule, but you can't break it.
Yep.
But no, I mean, to me, rules are what give us structure, and structure is what keeps us moving forward. When you start to, I say this, and if Brian ever watched this one, he'd give me a hard time because we actually have rules and structure for the podcast that I almost never follow, ever.
Who made the rules though?
Me and Brian.
Okay, they're your rules.
What was funny is
There's a difference.
I told him, I said, there's a little bit of lateral movement, and he kind of just stared at me, and I was like, I'm just saying.
But if Ryan Smith made the rules, would you have followed them?
Yeah.
Okay, but you made the rules, so there's wiggle room there. If you gave me the rules to follow for the podcast, then I would follow them.
Well, you guys tried to the best your ability was, but I loved, by the way, walking into that.
That was
You know the best part about that whole thing? I walked in and turned it on. No joke. Walked in and just turned it on. I plugged the power in and turned it on.
aneurysm in Michael's head. Just
I told Mike, I said, I just turned it on. And he goes, what did you do? I hit the power button.
yep.
It's
We're just going to ignore that 45 minutes that took us.
I felt so bad. Justin says it depends on the rule. No, to me, it doesn't.
Nope.
Rules are rules. I've bent rules, but I've never broken them. I've bent them to help people out. I've bent them to help myself a few times in sticky situations. But there are rules that you can't bend, obviously. But some rules can be bent based on the situation. We do it all the time with our tardy policy, all the time. I'm a stickler for rules, but every now and then you have to bend it. There can't be. There are some rules that need a little bit of give to them, to where you can modify it based on what's going on in the situation. Some of them can't. Some of them are that's a dead stop. And it just kind of depends on the rule. That part, yes, but when it comes to rules are rules, man. There are some of them you can't bend. You can't kind of commit murder, but you can kind of speed in traffic. That's a horrible way of defining that.
I would never go based off of that, but you're in the right ballpark.
Yeah, it's like I said. There's some of those that you're going to run across. We're jumping from subject to subject, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, each rule. I think, like I said, it depends on the situation. But there are some rules that are a dead stop. There's no bending, and then there's some rules that you can. Some of the ones that we deal with on a daily basis would be like tardiness. You can bend that rule a little bit based on the situation, what's going on. The officer, who the officer is. There's some give and take in some of that stuff. A big one for me when it comes to that rule in particular is how is the officer helpful? Does the officer do their job? If it's somebody who's been consistent for the past 45 days, never been late, does a really good job, helps us out all the time, and they wake up late one day and they roll up 45 minutes late, there's some give to that. You know, there's give and take to that.
Yeah, no.
If you're late all the time, every day, you're never on time, there's no bend. You've given me no reason to bend it.
No, but if you're late and overslept because you stayed an extra 4 hours last night for me,
Sure.
yeah, there's some bend. But if you're coming off your weekend and you're late, a little less lenient on that one.
Let's see. What did Nick Fury say? I acknowledge the council has made a decision, but given that it's a stupid... I mean, it's kind of how I feel with the rules I set for the podcast. There's a rule. It's a stupid rule. I mean, yeah, that's some of it. Yes, Justin, you are correct. Bending certain rules in certain situations is acceptable. And that's everywhere, though. That's not just us. That's everywhere.
Yep.
But other than that, that's really all we have. We're just kind of getting off into tangents, which is
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
You guys have
Let's
been
not
super
shop.
active. Let's see. As of right now, so the poll, I'm going to end the poll. It ended with
Hold on.
89% yes with 11% no. One person said no. I haven't ended it yet.
I would have lost anyways.
You didn't,
I didn't vote. I would have lost anyways, so doesn't matter.
So, Shaughnessy, we're going to have you on the podcast more. I hope that makes you happy. Coop is Nick Fury. I don't know if that's... I don't know.
I don't know.
That's kind of a tough one. Justin says, new lore unlocked. Neil says, yay, more Lulu. All right, so we're going to get into the weather now, and then we're going to let you guys get back to it so you can enjoy your weekends and get back to it. All right, so for the weather, here's what we're looking at. Saturday, we're looking at 61, mostly cloudy. Sunday, we're looking at 72, partly cloudy. Monday is 70, mostly cloudy. It's going to be cloudy all week up until Friday. Tuesday is 75, Wednesday at 68, Thursday at 56. Friday is going to be 56 and sunny, so it's going to be cold and bright. Next Saturday is going to be 55, partly cloudy, with rain on Sunday at 51.
Yeah, decent weather most of the week.
Yeah, not bad at all. It's going to be cold, so we'll keep that in mind. Dress warm. If you don't have a Titan jacket, we've ordered more, which I think almost everybody has a jacket now.
They
So
should.
if you don't, please reach out to April and let her know. She'll get you on the list. We have more jackets coming in. We have also ordered long sleeve shirts just for everybody to know. We're waiting for those to come in. A big thing to do, though, is layer up. Make sure you wear Under Armour or something like that. That will definitely help out in the cold. It's what I used to do. I didn't have a jacket for the longest time, and I used to just layer up. Long johns, top bottoms, thicker socks, gloves.
Yep.
Layer up, stay warm. Other than that, I think that's it. It's been a phenomenal week.
Sure. I haven't been here.
I know. That's why I was looking at you.
Yep.
Other than that, that's really it, guys. So other than that, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Remember, hydration's the day before, not the day of. As for the water bottle, yeah, I see you marking in there. You can either win it at the holiday party, because we're going to have 3 of them added into that, or I said it before and I'll say it again. I'll start doing a giveaway on the podcast itself. Once a month, I'll give away a water bottle, so you guys can look forward to that as well. So for that one, you'll have to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, that's how I'm doing that one. That's how I measure it. So on that, guys, we're going to catch you on the next one. Have a safe weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Thanks, guys.
Bye.